Hello and welcome to Elecspo, and it is time to turn our attentions back to the Premier League. Euro 2021 is over, meaning the new Premier League season is only right around the corner. Clubs are making new signings to improve their squad, but who did Football Manager 2016 predict would be each club's most expensive signing this summer? There's only one way to find out, so let's do it. My name's James, you're watching Elecspo, and this is every Premier League club's most expensive signing in 2021 according to Football Manager 2016. Let's go. Arsenal Domenico Berardi. We're off to a huge start here as Arsenal have spent massive money on a player who in reality has just won the Euros. Domenico Berardi played on the right wing for the Italians. He played in most games of the tournament until Federico Chiesa started just tearing it up. In this era of FM he was an absolute star, which is why Arsenal have paid £42 million for his services. He's earning 240 grand a week. He's played 55 times for Italy, 21 caps. What a signing he is. He's played 4 times already, he's got himself an assist, a man of the match award, an average rating of 7.4, and if you look at his numbers for Liverpool, I mean he's already been in the Premier League, and in the past 4 seasons he's hit double figures already. Arsenal have got a sensational signing, and just because of the Football Manager nerdiness, I really do want to see Domenico Berardi move to the Premier League this summer. Aston Villa, no one. They didn't sign anyone. Aston Villa sitting near the bottom of the Championship at the start of the season, and in the summer transfer window they didn't sign a soul. In reality we already know that's a load of rubbish because they've signed Emiliano Buendia from Norwich. He should be a great signing too. Will they keep a hold of Jack Grealish? I'm not so sure, maybe they will, who knows, it's not for me to decide. Brentford Jack Harper. With a new Premier League season we've got a new team in these videos and we welcome Brentford to the Every Premier League Club series. I hope you're happy to be involved lads. On FM16 in 2021 you're still a Championship club unfortunately, and you're managed by Paolo Di Canio, which isn't great to be honest with you. In terms of transfers, their most expensive signing was the 350 grand acquisition of Jack Harper, a man whose career just hasn't really gone to plan. I mean this is a kid who was at Real Madrid when he was a lot younger. Throughout this simulation he hasn't been great. One good season at Rangers. He's played his best football in the Scottish Premiership, but in terms of English football it's been a little bit of a disaster. He's in the Championship now with Brentford. To be honest I can't see it going very well. Brentford, they'll probably make some better signings than him this summer. If not, they're probably going to struggle in the Premier League. Brighton Johnny HOWSON. We've got another huge signing as Brighton signed Johnny HOWSON from Norwich for £15.75 thousand a week. Worse players than Johnny HOWSON get paid that a week, but he signed for Brighton in the Championship. All I can tell you about Johnny HOWSON, I mean obviously he plays for Borough in reality, did he not score an absolute corker against Man City a few years back when Norwich were in the Premier League? I'm not sure. Obviously they're back now, Johnny HOWSON's in there, he's at Borough. As for Brighton here, you'll notice on the outgoings, they got rid of Ben White. Did they not know he was going to be a superstar? He's now playing for MK Dons, and he's wanted by Colchester already, even though he's only been at MK Dons for 5 minutes. Look at that young little face. Who knew back then he'd be going to a Euro 2020 final and losing and not featuring the entire tournament? But that doesn't matter, let's move on. Burnley, Michalis Christofi and Kofi Sarpong. Do those names ring any bells to you? No they don't, because they are both regents. Christofi arrived from Benfica for £2.5 million and Kofi Sarpong coming from Arsenal for exactly the same fee. £6.4 million spent by Burnley in the Championship as they look to return to the Premier League. Let's have a look at these two players. Kofi Sarpong, a 20-year-old striker, got the number 10 shirt, and so far he's doing alright. He's already scored 3 goals in 5 appearances, so he's off to a pretty damn good start. As for Christofi, he is another striker. He's from Cyprus, a wanted man already, which is a bit strange. Wanted by West Brom. Why are newly signed players already being linked with exits? As for Christofi, he too has got off to a good start, scoring 3 goals in 5 appearances, just like Sarpong. If those two players sign for Burnley in reality, something has gone massively wrong. I mean, they've got rid of some big names. Denayer, Jordan Pickford, Patrick Bamford, Matty Lowton, Andre Gray, Emil Forsberg. Some big names leaving Burnley in 2021, big names that they don't even have in reality. Chelsea, BREEL and EMBOLO. Chelsea have made a proper FM signing in 2021. They have spent £40 million on Swiss forward BREEL EMBOLO. We've seen him at the Euros. He scored against Wales. He limped off in the game against Spain when they got knocked out. He's a guy who just hasn't lived up to the hype. He's got so much natural ability. It just hasn't quite clicked as people thought it would. But on FM 2016, he's an absolute superstar. 170 grand a week earned at Chelsea. So far though, you know what it is, I tell a lie. He started it well at Basel, got to Juventus, didn't do well, at Bayern didn't really hit the heights, and at Chelsea hasn't got off to the best start. So I've told a lie here. Usually in this era of the game, BREEL EMBOLO was a superstar, but on this simulation it just hasn't worked out. It's early days though, and EMBOLO's got a long time to prove he truly is worth £40 million. Crystal Palace Johan Eggestein. Johan Eggestein's arrived from Tottenham for £15.25 million. Crystal Palace have spent a fair bit of money this summer, but the biggest arrival is the German striker Eggestein. As we say, £15.25 million from Tottenham. This is, I mean, look at those ratings. Physically, he's an absolute machine. He's so quick, and he's already got 2 goals for Palace. At Tottenham, didn't really get much football, but at Crystal Palace, he's got off to a hot start. In reality, how good is this guy? Because I always found in this era of Football Manager, he was brilliant. He was everywhere. He was always scoring goals. I genuinely don't think I've ever actually seen him play football, which is a little bit sad, isn't it? Everton Ismail Azawi. You'll notice for Everton, they've also signed Alisson Becker, Brazilian goalkeeper, the man who keeps things tight at Liverpool. He is playing on the other side of Merseyside for Everton, but he wasn't the most expensive signing. That was Azawi for £21.5 million from Manchester United. Belgian, 1 cap, can play on either flank, and he's already got himself 2 goals. This is another guy who, he came through the Tottenham Academy and he was great on Football Manager, but hasn't lived up to the hype at all. Currently playing for Heracles Almelo. Leeds United Adam Reach. For 700 grand, Leeds United have signed Adam Reach from Aston Villa. And I don't know about you, but Adam Reach seems like a player who would actually be quite good for Leeds. I mean, Marcelo Bielsa can get you could probably put me in this Leeds team and I could at least get a 6 out of 10 maybe against a not very good team. Adam Reach could probably play as a wing back, he could maybe play in the middle. One of those players who was just quite an average championship player. But then again, you could say the same about a lot of Leeds' players. Unfortunately, he's not managed by Marcelo Bielsa in this simulation. In fact, he's managed by Carlo Ancelotti's best mate, Paul Clement. Leicester City Kelechi Iheanacho. Well, this is strange. Leicester's most expensive signing is a man who they already acquired a few years ago. In reality, he cost a lot more than 7 million quid, but that's how much they've got him for on FM16. Arrived from Hamburg, and already he's banging them in. 1 goal in every Premier League game he's played. 4 goals in 4 appearances, putting Man City's decision to let him go for nothing in 2019 to absolute shame. Leicester fans wish he was that good. I mean, he did have that purple patch towards the end of the season, but not averaging a goal every game levels of good. Jesus Christ. Liverpool Robin Quaison. Liverpool's most expensive signing cost £12.25 million and he arrived from Real Madrid. He's got 69 grand a week coming to his pocket every week, and so far after 4 appearances he hasn't been very good. And when you look at the past few years of his career, I've got no idea why Liverpool signed him. He went to Real Madrid for big money in 2017, 2018 and he wasn't very good there either. Yet Liverpool still decided to spend 12 million quid on a guy who, to be honest with you, he was at Euro 2020 and I only found that out when I looked at pictures for this video. Who knew this guy was at the Euros? I mean, was he playing in the Bundesliga recently? I want to say Mainz, that rings a bell. But on FM16, they had big hopes for a guy who in reality is now playing in Saudi Arabia for Al Ettifaq. Manchester City Pascual Morales. They are one of the richest clubs in world football, yet on FM16, Man City's most expensive signing in 2021 was Pascual Morales, a regen, for just £1.8 million. He's a centre back, he can play right back as well, Only 17 years old. How good is this Man City team that they haven't had to sign anyone? Right now they're talking about, they've just won the Premier League at an absolute canter, and they're talking about spending 200 million quid on Jack Grealish and Harry Kane. Yet on FM16, all they've got is some poxy, spotty 17-year-old regen who doesn't even exist because he's a regen, obviously. Let's go to the next team. Manchester United, Barend van Grinsven. Yes, Manchester United's biggest signing of 2021 is also a regen. Van Grinsven, a Dutch winger arriving from Juventus for £15.5 million. It's a big investment for a player who doesn't really have a lot of experience. Joined Juventus for £4.9 million. He spent his days out on loan. He went back to, no, he didn't, I was going to say he went back to Ajax. That's a lie. He started at PSV. Then he went to Ajax on loan. Surely is that allowed? I mean, it's obviously allowed, but are PSV and Ajax not big rivals because they're the only two good teams in the Netherlands? I don't really know. Either way, he's joined Man United, yet to make his debut, but the 21-year-old looks like he's got absolute pace for days, and a first touch of an angel, 18 or 20 rating at the age of 21, taking the balls out the sky, killing them for dead. That is what Van Grinsven gives you. Forget Jadon Sancho, Man United, sign up this guy, even though he doesn't exist. Newcastle United, Jadon Sancho. We mentioned before when we were talking about Burnley, and Jadon Sancho is Newcastle's most expensive signing. He cost £5.75 million from Burnley. Centre back, he's already wanted by someone else, weirdly. His debut went pretty well, a rating of 7.3. You can't ask for more than that from a centre back. And at the price of £5.75 million, he's within Newcastle's budget right now, because in 2021, apparently all they have got to spend is just £10 million. Please, for the love of God, just let this takeover go through, man. Norwich City, COADY. If Norwich's biggest signing this summer actually was COADY, you'd think they'd pulled off an absolute coup. I mean, they'd probably have spent kind of big money on him, but on FM 2016, the Liverpudlian only cost £3.2 million. Sadly, he probably isn't as good as he is in reality, because at this point in time, he hadn't had his, renaissance where he moved to centre back. He's still a centre midfielder, he's playing in the Championship for Norwich. Throughout the simulation, that's exactly where he's been. He's been in the Championship and he hasn't been very good. Bar this season where remarkably he got 10 goals and 10 assists, yet still only got an average rating of 6.74. How on earth did that happen? Southampton, Andre Wisdom. For £5.25 million, Southampton have added Andre Wisdom to their squad, a man who's got 40 caps for Jamaica. So far, his time at Southampton hasn't really gone well, average rating of 6.55, which is quite poor, to be honest with you, but he's been in the Premier League for the entire simulation and he just hasn't been very good. I mean, previous season at Charlton was alright, 6.98, that's not bad. He's had a 6.97 when he first joined Watford. But was Andre Wisdom not meant to be like a future England star, maybe even a future England captain? I mean, tell us in the comments if I got that wrong. But I mean, I suppose this is going better for him than in reality, where he's playing for Derby. I mean, they nearly got relegated last season. How on earth did that happen? Tottenham, Lucas Trosso. Tottenham's biggest signing in 2021 cost £28 million. A Portuguese striker from Everton. He's got 3 caps for his country. He's already got a goal. He loves playing as a complete forward. He can finish. He's alright in the air. He's composed. And he seems pretty... His agility's alright. He's pretty quick. Strong. He works hard. He seems like an absolute dream, but he's yet to make his debut for Tottenham. He joined Everton on a free in 2020, got 11 goals in 29 appearances, and after 1 year, Tottenham, even though the year prior they could have got him for nothing, spent £28 million on him. Christ, I hope this one works out, because otherwise it's going to be another bad bit of business by Tottenham. Maybe they could sign this guy in reality. If they do have to sell Harry Kane, I bet they don't sell Harry Kane, I bet they keep a hold of him, just because Daniel Levy's just so greedy he won't sell. I mean, to be fair, why would he sell his biggest asset? But he does want to go. He's still there on FM16, so maybe that's a sign of things to come. Then again, they have also got Nabil Bentaleb playing in the middle, so that's not a very good sight. Watford, Ruben Blanco. £9 million was Watford's biggest signing in September 2021, and it was for Spanish goalkeeper Ruben Blanco. He never played for Spain, but that's alright. During this simulation, started off well. Actually, no, he didn't. He didn't start. He was good when he played, but he never played. Went to Monaco, did play, played quite poorly. Now he's had one appearance for Watford and an average rating of a 6. I mean, that's not very good at all. Christ, I hope Ruben Blanco was better than this in reality. I mean, he wants to be, considering he's spent his whole career at Celta Vigo. I'll be honest, I'm not an expert on Spanish football, so maybe Ruben Blanco's not very good. Maybe he is good, who knows. Let's move on. West Ham United, Izzy Brown. Do you remember this guy's name? Izzy Brown was meant to be one of the next big things coming out of the Chelsea Academy. In reality, he is only just being released by the Blues, despite never making the grade. He spent all of his time out on loan, but on FM16, he's having a fair bit of cash spent on him. Charlton spent just shy of 12 million quid on him in 2020. I'm going to assume Charlton came up and went straight back down, and once they went down, they sold Izzy Brown for a profit of £12.75 million. Well, that wasn't the profit was 1 million, but that was the fee he went for. Huge figures for a man who's just hasn't lived up to the hype. Izzy Brown was meant to be the next big thing. I'm sure they spent a canny bit of cash on him when he was only 15 years old or something, from West Brom to go to Chelsea, and it just hasn't been worth it. Now, in reality, he's signed for Preston North End, meaning Izzy Brown won't be in the Chelsea loan WhatsApp group anymore. And finally, Wolves, Tyler Blackett. For 875 grand a week, Wolves' most expensive signing was the former Manchester United defender Tyler Blackett, who's got off to a really bad start actually. Throughout this whole simulation, he's been pretty appalling, to be honest with you, and we know this is totally unrealistic because he isn't even Portuguese. Right, that's the end of the video. We will leave things there. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Elecspo, and until next time, we will see you around.